Hello and welcome to the biggest snow sports event in the Southern Hemisphere. This is the New Zealand Winter Games. There's no mistaking this view. Queenstown, the Wakatipu Basin, and this is the Remarkables, where the top athletes are battling it out for the first big titles of the new season. We got a packed show, so we can't hang around. This is how it lines up.
We have all the mayhem from both the skiing and snowboarding at the North Face Frontier 4-star event in the Remarkables Alta Chutes. And we'll catch up with Jess Hotter, New Zealand's first ever Freeride World Tour champion. But first, Corey Peters, one of New Zealand's most successful athletes, had plenty to distract him in his preparations for the 2022 Paralympics.
The last year of my life, yeah, it's been pretty amazing, really. Coming away with the most successful Paralympic campaign of my career.
You can see Sochi 2014 and then moving through another 4-year cycle into Pyeongchang, and this time around in March this year, coming away with both the gold and the silver in the men's downhill and Super G. Leave it.
He's ready.
See you later.
Oh.
You know, even when I won the medal, you know, there wasn't a lot of hooting and hollering going on. It's just, maybe it's a Kiwi thing, you know, we stayed quite humble. So the preparation for Beijing didn't go to, plan exactly. Firstly, with COVID, we weren't able to travel with all the border lockdowns. Watching on social media and following races, all the Europeans and all the guys in the Northern Hemisphere were still competing. And then also back in 2020, sustaining a mountain bike crash. Just re-injuring my left shoulder a little bit. I think mentally and physically, I know, the routines that you go through. The competition has got a lot harder over the years since my first games back in Sochi. And there's just such minor differences in everybody's times now. It's a lot more pressure now because you know how close these guys are and how good they are. The nail in the coffin, I guess, was me getting COVID on New Year's Day, actually. So not the best start to 2022. So I put a lot of emphasis on skiing in my head and actually believing in myself and believing crossing that finish line, you were the gold medalist. And I guess there's a lot of power in that. As soon as that wand broke, it was just game on. And there's a lot of expectation on you, having been a previous medalist. I think, your partner is back here and she's pregnant and you're going to be a father. That did add an element to it, and I guess it gave me that motivation and drive as well, a little bit extra. Yeah, we get a beautiful little girl and pretty special, really, and yeah, really rewarding, and I'm sure it's only going to get even more rewarding as the years go on.
I think the first week coming home, I got a shadow, like it literally just projectiled out here onto my chest. Definitely next level busy. The tiredness is definitely a real thing. I've never been so tired in my life, but it's all worth it, just for her.
We have an absolute feast of free riding for you today here at the North Face Frontier. We've had an incredible season of snow here in NZ, and the venue is looking pristine. The snowboarders are going to kick things off for us. You ready, ladies?
Yeah!
We're on.
The Remarkables Alta Chutes have long been the venue of choice for the North Face Frontier 4-star, and for good reason. The face has a multitude of options, from the steep but relatively straightforward main chute, which follows the fall line from the start, to the more exposed and technical riders right of the face. Conditions were what are referred to in the trade as sporty. In reality, that translates to less than perfect, as the incredibly talented lineup of forerunners would attest.
Like the stuff in the sun that you can see now is really solid. The stuff in the shade, you can actually get an edge in and it's better than I thought it would be.
On that very first cliff that Hank and I kind of skied around and under, there's like two quite big moguls, so if you're planning to jump off that, I'll just be aware of really getting on your edges if you wanted to cut across to where Hank and I did threes on.
Without doubt though, the best thing about this venue is the view afforded to spectators from the lake and the atmosphere that creates in the finish area. With just a dusting of new snow on ice, the snowboarders working with just two edges would need to approach the face more cautiously than their skiing cousins. Angus Gray opened the men's category with a very solid backside 360. Couple of hands down on the top section there, but he was confident all the way through to the last windlip where he sent a huge backie. Next in was the Swiss Niklas Meindl. A frontside 360 to enter kicked off the run. A little backside 360 over that central fin, and listen to the heel edge here. Gives you an idea of just how icy that snow was. Difficult to control on his heel edge there, but then blasted through the central section of this face with speed and confidence. He managed to get another solid drop on the finish there and then chop into the side off the windlip for a backside 360. Unfortunately, he was pretty backseat and lost control. Nevertheless, the judges rewarded him with a 69.67.
Yeah, it was great. I was super stoked with my run. Had a little issue at the end, so I didn't think it would actually work out. But no, it feels great being here.
Wanaka local Ronan Thompson is one of the most playful riders in the field and kicked off with a frontside 180. Rode the first two turns switch, flicked back round, and then set about the rest of his run. He looked low, solid and compact on his board through some of the most difficult icy sections of the face. Came in switch to this second drop. Long way round on the half cab, but sat down slightly on his heel edge. Nearly got hung up in the centre of the face there. And managed to hold on to his control and cut into this third ledge in the main chute. A backside 360 worked very hard with the judges. He then tucked in to the back of the windlip and set up for this lovely shifty frontside 360. The judges give it a very solid 74. Niklas Meindl hadn't even got comfortable.
Scary, very scary, hard, but I'm happy I landed both my threes, even though the back three was a bit like I wasn't in the right spot, but happy to make it down alive and see all the other boys send it now.
Next came the Remarkable's resident mountain goat, Roland Morley-Brown. He opted to drop in switch, going for a half cab. Got a lovely grab on that and looked very, very solid. RMB is a wily old fox, and you could see just how cleverly he approached this face. He favours his toe edge almost all the way down and the sunnier, softer side of the face. Gets up into that pocket, gets a hack into a little drop there. Again on the toe side edge to control his speed. And he works this sunnier, softer side of the face where he knows there'll be slough. Again up onto this little bank above this cliff band. Little bit of heel edge there, but that's one of the few sections he used. Otherwise, he's been in consummate control from start to finish. And Rowley milked the courage gland with a big, shifty, late frontside 180 switch finish just as he started. Smooth, fast and technical with that switch run out. 80.33, more than enough for the top spot.
Sick run, bro. Was that switch up the top?
Switch up the top and then switch up the bottom.
That's sick.
With the men done, it was time to head back up to the start gate where the women were getting ready. Melissa Brantner was the first to drop, and she looked confident and strong on her feet right from the off. She worked her way into the guts of the Alta chute, the main chute there, and there's a bowling ball effect through that part of the face where it just rolls away out of sight. And with so little control on your heel edge, she had to be incredibly careful. But she managed to shut down that speed without falling over. There was just the wind lip to go. And a nice tail grab, again shutting down that speed carefully. Couple of turns to finish, and it was a solid 68 points for Melissa Brantner. First rider down, so inevitably she takes the hot seat. But the question is, for how long?
It was just amazing, like just so much fun. Yeah, not too bad snow, got some airtime. Yeah, I'm stoked.
It was always going to be the road less travelled for Maria Kuzma. Equipped with local knowledge, she struck out for the rider's right-hand side of the venue. Steeper and more exposed, it's always popular with the judges. Unfortunately for Maria, that also meant there was less fresh snow. She had to pick her way carefully over the ice. She did twist the throttle and open it up for this big straight-line finish. A 65 flat for Maria Kuzma on sheet ice. Strapping in back up at the top was the Freeride World Tour veteran Claire McGregor, and this woman has only one setting, full send. So it was a testament to how hard conditions were that even she was pulling back. Skipping on her heels after that first drop, she managed to regain control to set herself for a second, and it was one of the biggest drops of the day in the women's snowboard category. But again, she couldn't shut down the speed safely and found herself bouncing on her heels. She got a little frontside air off the wind lip to finish, and then down onto the lake. A 54.33 meant it was a case of what might have been for Claire. So, confirmation of the results. Zoe McGeorge in third, Maria Kuzma in second, and Great Britain's Melissa Brantner with the top spot. In the men's, it was all smiles, though, for Roland Morley-Brown. He took first place ahead of Ronan Thompson in second and Nicholas Mindel in third.
Now, for the first time, New Zealand has a Freeride World Tour champion. And in classic Kiwi fashion, she's humble about her achievements.
The words Jess Hotter World Champion does not make sense to me. The last year of my life's been crazy, intense. I'm stoked. I think there was definitely a little bit of pressure for the title. There was quite a few things that I needed to help me with my headspace. I actually started seeing a therapist at that time. Also needed time around people that I knew. That was really, really huge for me. My crashes have taught me a lot. They've taught me a lot about, reading the face and about my skiing and where I should be pushing it and where I shouldn't be, what I need to be remembering. It's up to what other people do as well. It's not only what you do.
She's waving at the camera, she is okay.
So, you just have to do the best that you can do, and it shouldn't have anything to do with what else is going on.
2022 champion, Jessica Hotter!
I'm gonna cry. I would credit having really amazing people around me to talk to and people on my side, having an amazing family that I can lean on when I'm feeling down. I'm super proud that I have gotten as far as I have. I don't think that I ever thought that I was going to get to this point, when I first started competing in competition. And I think it's just my love for the sport and my love for the people and being in the mountains is what has kept me going. Tastes good.
Respect, Jess. I love the approach, all or nothing. But that was the World Tour. How will she get on with home snow under her feet? Let's find out.
French slope and big air specialist Lou Barron has been making a name for herself in freeride competitions, and her strong top section showed real promise. But that fall on her last kicker cost her dearly. The reigning world champion Jess Hotter was next to drop. A very strong entry and great control through that top section. Fed her down onto the first of the big ledges. Sizable drop into the shade and then again killing speed very, very smoothly. A cross-court tranny finder, again back into the shade, shutting down the speed with a big right hand as she tucked in under the windlip and set up for the trick she's been wanting to land in competition. Stomped the backy. And the relief was clear as she made her way down the apron and into the finish area.
Proud of you. I was definitely nervous about the whole run. The snow conditions are super spicy, so like I don't want to pick up any speed at all if I could avoid it. So I was just trying to go as like slow and carefully as possible because I knew the moment you pick up speed, you're just going to blow past all your hits. So just took it really easy. Finally put down a backflip in competition, so I'm really stoked.
A huge 84.67 put Hotter firmly in the lead. One of two Brits in the women's field, India Cairns, attacked the face. Uncowed by either the conditions or the fact that where you enter the face is blind, she went straight into the pipeline chute. A solid exit through very difficult snow gave her a 71.67. Jessie Violet was next in. She's been making waves in New Zealand with her fearless approach to the mountain. And this competition was a chance for her to do the same against an international field. She grabbed the opportunity with both hands and laid down a perfect backflip to finish a solid run. 77.67, good enough for second. Next in was the Olympic gold medalist from moguls, Justine Dufour-Lepont. She's decided to try a hand at free riding, and on the strength of this run, she has a bright future ahead of her. It was a clean and fleet-footed run. Kept her control all the way down, slipped in behind the windlip, and threw another backflip that illustrated just how high the women's level is. Third place for the Canadian with a 75.33. The first time 3 backflips have ever been seen in a women's freeride competition. American Kelsey Whittles is a big mountain skier through and through, and rather than go toe-to-toe with the backflip crew, she opted to forge her own path through the steepest zone on the face. She dropped into the pipeline chute and committed 100%. She came blazing out onto the apron at Mach 10, a classic big mountain line, earning Whittles an 82.67. On an historic day, Dufour-Lepont took fourth just behind Kiwi rookie Jessie Violet. Whittles claimed second, but it was the reigning world champion who stamped her mark on her home contest. A stacked field in the men's was opened by the young Les Arcs local Nemo Plan. He opened the category with a clean, fast descent and a beautiful backflip to finish, 80 points flat for the Frenchman. Ben Richards was next to drop. The Kiwi has a wonderfully clean, powerful style of skiing, and he attacked the face from the off. Clipped into the first drop and then spun a left 3 straight into a third ledge. And he didn't hesitate. He managed to get his speed under control and then launched off this fourth ledge with a huge drop. Ben Richards had set a high mark at the 4-star here at the Remarkables. An 87.33 would not be easy to best. So Ben Richards took the hot seat to watch the action unfold. And there was no shortage of it. Connor Addis has always had a unique approach to his skiing. And this hand plant was probably the first any of the judges had seen in a freeride competition. Matt Sweet committed to his run through the pipeline chute. Unfortunately, the compression got the better of him, and there was a call for a clean-up on aisle 5. Thankfully, only his pride was bruised. Sebastian Beiner put a very strong argument together for a podium spot with this run. Kicked off with that butter in, a couple of very tidy drops, and then found himself into some spicy exposure. Again, fully committed to this line. .360 to finish, sat down a touch, but a very solid run for the Swiss. He moved into 4th with the 77.33. The first of the Powell brothers, Locke, dropped in. And while his run was clean, you could see that he was focused on something big. It was a double backflip out of the wind lip. Unfortunately, he was fractionally under-rotated. Next to drop was the local legend, Blake Marshall. A right 360 into the face, shut down the speed beautifully, then cross-court on that fin, a left 360, one each way already, then another right 360. Got so much work done on the top section, and then comes across into this most exposed area of the face, far looker's right. Killed some speed beautifully there, letting the tails hang out. And then into this very sharky section with a big double. Blake Marshall absolutely greasing this face. This is Blake Marshall's home. He knows this face so well. A beautiful and precise line. But how did he string it together?
Oh, I think it just works really well is when you land 2 turns and then you're straight to the next one, so you don't have time to think. So it's just like bang, 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 and I think that's the way to do it, eh? Because then you don't have time to think and it's just coming at you.
It was an incredible run in normal conditions, but on this impenetrable ice, it's a truly breathtaking feat. A 91.67, well earned. Frenchman Hugo Troubat has been steadily climbing the Freeride qualifying tour rankings, and this run showed why. Fast, uncompromising skiing. He finished with a big exit out of the pipeline chute and held on to that compression, finding the transition perfectly. An 82.67. Even at the end of the field, there was no sign of things letting up. Henry Zakowski was next to drop. Beautiful, smooth skiing up top. Found that lovely floaty 3 off the fin and dropped onto this second ledge. Good pace, cutting out to the skier's left-hand side of the face, and again into the pipeline chute. Shutting the speed down, he set himself up on top of this exposure. Huge drop again, sitting down just a touch, but a fantastically direct line for the man from Solitude in Utah. .84.33 for Henry Zakowski. The last man to drop was Finn Powell, brother of Locke. He opened up with the butter and in a bid to uphold the family name, returned to the double backflip and stomped it. Well, he came out switch after a backslap. What's a revert between friends? It was another truly epic showdown at the North Face Frontier, with Henry Zakowski in third, Ben Richards in second, and Blake Marshall with the win. The Remarkables deliver again with a spicy day of competition and an incredible atmosphere.
Truly, truly epic. Well, another banging show, and we've got one more to go, and I'm personally really excited about it. We're going to be bringing you the action from the Big Air and Park Jam Stomp contest. Basically, organised chaos on snow. You don't want to miss this one. I'll see you there.